My name is Louise Bruce, and I'm a community composter. When I moved to New York City, I had actually never composted before. I definitely thought it was a good thing to do, but I literally never put anything in a compost bin. I came here to work for the Parks Department, and through that took the Master Composter course. That's where I was exposed to this world of community composting. Compost is, I like to think of it like the life in the soil. In a natural system, leaves fall from the trees, they fall to the forest floor. They're broken down by bacteria and fungi, and they're broken down into something called humus. In cities, we describe compost as humans making humus. So it's when I save my apple cores, my banana peels, eggshells, even meat, anything that was living, that was alive, mix that up in a recipe to be able to turn it into humus. To do that, we have to take advantage of the science behind decomposition. The food waste is very nitrogen-rich. That often means adding in a carbon-rich source. So we'll look for leaves or wood shavings. What we're looking for is this ideal ratio of 30 carbon to every 1 nitrogen. And that's, the golden balanced diet for a microorganism. I like to think about it like a microorganism gym. So if you go to a human gym and see people running on a treadmill, you'll start to see the windows fog up and you'll feel heat in the room. Same thing goes for microorganisms. As they're breaking it down and working hard, they'll generate heat, and then the heat starts to make the environment better for other organisms to thrive. We actually recommend turning your pile very often because it allows you to kind of recharge the pile with oxygen and redistribute materials so that you can maintain air pathways through your pile. Once you've determined that your compost is cured, stable, ready to go, the next step would be to sift it. Sifting is really important because it separates out the unfinished material or bulkier wood chips from the really fine compost. And then all of the material that comes out of the sifter underneath it can be then applied to plants. Compost is often compared to fertilizers. They're actually very different. Fertilizers tend to be like a quick jolt of nutrients. It's like taking an energy drink, whereas compost is like changing your diet. What happens when you add compost into the soil is like literally adding life into that soil. If you don't compost, it's probably going in your trash. We've created this system where we take something, an apple core, and we think of it as trash. And so we're gonna put it in a bin, it's gonna get on a truck, and it's gonna go very, very far away and go to a landfill where they're gonna be sealed under lots of rubble, and then they're gonna be totally inaccessible to us. All the way on the other end of the spectrum, we're building developments, we're building parks and gardens, and to do that we need soil, we need nutrients. So what we end up doing is trucking in soil from outside, we're bringing in fertilizers from outside. And so instead of taking advantage of this resource that we're producing right in the neighborhood, we're bringing in synthetic materials from other places that don't have nearly the same potential. What we could do is to actually close that loop to build a stronger city. It's kind of an interesting time because more and more composting is happening, and it's happening at all these different scales. But the big question will be if we can effectively connect all these scales. And so the way I like to think about it is like in cities, we have really big highways, and then we have tiny streets and lots of different sized streets in the middle. You need the mass superhighway to move goods in and out of the city. You need the middle streets to be off-ramps from these larger superhighways. And then you need these smaller streets where people feel safer and then businesses thrive. And you see people playing, checkers in the street, and they just have this vibrant life that a superhighway could never have. I would love to see us understand waste infrastructure in the same way. Yes, we have a lot of organic waste, and we need to deal with that in a big way. We need the superhighway of waste management. But at the same time, this is a resource that we can use to grow a healthier, more beautiful community. not only did it create this beautiful garden, but there's this like really energetic, wonderful community that now thrives around that. They're coming and dropping off their food waste, but they actually stay and keep coming back because they want to see their friends and catch up with people. I would love for in 5, 10, 50 years from now for us to have a system of composting that reflects that same small street to superhighway.